Welcome to Project Integration Management. Now we're going to be talking about every process within integration, talking about what has changed, some of the things that may have stayed the same, and I'll be calling out what you need to focus on for the exam. What is Project Integration Management all about? It's all about coordinating, unifying, and combining all of the different processes within project management. So we're not just talking about integration, combining processes within integration. We're talking about integration, combining all of the processes in the PMBOK guide, all of the 47 processes. So let's talk about our first process in integration. Our first process is develop project charter. What is the end goal of developing a project charter? To come out with a project charter, of course, right? I mean, the name kind of gives it away, doesn't it? It's about developing a project charter. So the project charter is developed with a number of inputs, a number of tools and techniques, a number of outputs. But let's talk about the first input to developing the project charter. The first input is the project statement of work. Now, the project statement of work is a narrative description of what needs to be done. Internal projects typically have a project statement of work worked on by someone internal to the company, could be the sponsor or initiator. But talking about external projects, it's coming from the customer. Our next input is the business case. The business case makes a case for the project. And that's why it's called a business case. The business case contains a cost-benefit analysis, different reasons as to why the project should be authorized. The next input is agreements. Now, this is a relatively new term as far as ITTOs go. It was not in the 4th edition. An agreement is simply an agreement between you and some other person. Could be an internal person, internal stakeholder, or external stakeholder. When we talk about agreements, agreements are used to define the initial intent or intentions of a project. It's really used to put people on the same page, and this could be letters of agreement, a memorandum of understanding, even plain old emails. These are examples of agreements, and these agreements help us develop the project charter. They further clarify what is in the project and what is not. Remember that old email you got from the customer right at the beginning, even before a charter was issued? Well, that could become an input to actually developing the charter. The next input is our favorite from the 4th edition, Enterprise Environmental Factors. Now, why do I call it our favorite? If you had read the 4th edition, you will remember Enterprise Environmental Factors were a recurring theme all throughout planning and other processes. So now it's kind of repeated. We have Enterprise Environmental Factors, and the final input is organizational process assets. So those are your inputs to develop project charter. What tools and techniques do we have? The tools and techniques, one of them is pretty much the same, expert judgment. What is expert judgment? Now think about it. You're working on a project. You want to develop a project charter. A particular area of the charter might be giving you challenges. What do? Try to do it all alone? No. You look for people that can help you out. You look for people who can take you from being clueless to being clued in. And I call that expert judgment. So expert judgment could come from a variety of sources. You get that expert judgment, and what do? You apply it. You use it. You get people who can help you apply expert judgment to developing a project charter. Now, internal projects, we may not have a rigorous project charter development process, but in other companies and even government projects, the project charter could be a big deal. And that's why you need expert judgment. Our next tool and technique is a new one. It's called Facilitation Techniques. Facilitation Techniques. Well, as the name facilitation implies, facilitation techniques are used to facilitate the development of the project charter. And these cut across project management, things like brainstorming, conflict resolution techniques, and so on. And what is our output from this whole thing? The project charter. The project charter authorizes the project manager to apply resources to projects. What else does the project charter do, apart from identifying the project manager? It also identifies the project sponsor or initiator, typically signed by a manager external to the project and at a level that is on par with the project. So you want someone who knows about the project, who is in management, and someone whose signature on that project charter actually means a lot to the people reading it. So your project charter authorizes the project manager, identifies the high-level risks, the high-level assumptions, high-level constraints, all of that high-level information needed to kick off the project. That's what your project charter is all about. And that concludes our first process in integration, develop project charter.